everyone, and a warm welcome to this exciting online session organized by the Entrepreneurship Initiative at IIT GN. I am Vansh, and I will be the moderator for this session. This session will focus on topics like growth, entrepreneurship, venture capital, and management skills. And for that, we are joined by Mr. Tushar Kansal, founder and CEO of Consultancy Ventures. He brings a wealth of experience to our virtual stage. He has played a pivotal role in supporting over 5,000 companies to across diverse sectors. His impact extends globally, having contributed to a robust portfolio of 350 plus startups spanning 60 plus countries. Mr. Kansal is at the forefront of innovation and leadership in the industry. Join me in welcoming him as he shares his invaluable insights with us today. Mr. Kansal will impart his wealth of experience and knowledge on these subjects during a 40-minute session, after which we will take questions from the audience. The stage is now yours, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope you are recording this. Yes, yes. I'll just share my screen to give a brief about what startup is and how startup funding happens. And after that, I'll also share with you an example of a very successful company, White Hat Junior, which raised funding and later on sold itself to Byju's for $300 million, and how they went about the whole funding piece. So just give me a sec. Yeah, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is a typical startup ecosystem where first the company gets set up and one finds a problem statement to solve, and then works on the solution of the problem. And initially, you take help of friends and family or the angel investor, and later on, as the product gets marketed, the revenue starts coming in. Then you take help of early stage investors, and then venture capitalists, and later on private equity funds, and then later on you do an IPO in the public markets to give an exit to the early investors. So so these are the investing options which happen initially: angel investors, uh, angel network and platforms, venture capital funds, and micro VCs. And later on, corporate venture capital, and in case the company already is funded and has revenue, then venture debt and government grants and funds as well. And venture debt is something which comes in much later. Any company which is early stage, it doesn't get access to venture debt because venture debt is unsecured. They are not taking any real estate or property, so the risk is on their side. Then there are accelerators and incubators who help in all the initial stages by providing you various agencies, and they take some equity for that between 3 to 8%. There are family offices, which are basically arms of corporates. There are banks, and there are crowd-funded platforms. Uh, and stages, as I told you, there is a pre-seed, then there is a seed. After that, there is pre-series A, then there is series A, series B, series C, and all the way. It can go till very long. And everyone wants that the company should do an IPO so that they can sell their shares anytime when they want. And in hierarchy in venture capital fund is there are analysts, there are associates, there are senior associates. The head of the team is the principal, and then there is a junior partner and a senior partner. The guy who has owned and started the fund is called a general partner, and general partner decides where the money will be put. And the guy who puts in the money in the fund, those guys, they are called limited partners, and they have a CFO as well. because they have to manage the money from the limited partners. They have to do the investing, they have to do the accounting, they have to also take reporting from their investee companies. So a CFO is a must required. And you can make a career in venture capital field like accountants and auditors, analysts, then marketing specialists, people who create the pipeline that the deal should come every day. So they attend events, they do stage talks, panel discussions. Then you have investor relations, because if you have raised money from limited partners, then you have to manage their expectations as well. There are risk managers who create a profile of macro and micro risks. The principal guy in the fund is the one who, after hearing the analyst's view about the company, submits a report to the general partner. So he's a senior guy from the industry. Now, how can you make a career in venture capital and startup? Your mathematical and analytical skill should be good. You can join pre-MBA also, but that is a very starting position. Post MBA, if you do your internship in a VC fund, then it is easier to join a VC fund. Or you can also be someone who started with his own startup, and once you have the experience of the startup, you joined a fund. Degrees, any kind of analytical degree. Engineering is also good because a lot of these startups are technology startups. So if the guy sitting in the fund has a good know-how of the technology, then it is very good. I'm just rushing through this because the other presentation is more suitable. See, this is gives you an idea about the investment happening through venture capital funds, the number of deals over since 2020. It has only been growing, but last year there was a dip because the US economy went into a funding winter. So I'll just share the second presentation. That will be, yeah. So this is a slide which gives you how White Hat Junior and Karan Bajaj uh, got the funding and how they sold their company to Byju's for $300 million. So what they presented to the investors was very basic three things. And first thing was, what are they doing right now? So the company results, the growth and performance of the company right now versus the plan which they had made. So, the company was already growing at 65%. So they were in a sweet spot. And students were moving online from offline, also because of COVID. So, because of that, the tailwinds were there in their particular micro sector, which was the online coding. There was tailwinds in the sector, and the company's vision was very big, as I will tell you in the future in the further slides. And they had a very nice business strategy. The passion of the consumers was there. Secondly, market opportunity, the market size was there. A lot of students wanted to become technology specialists. They wanted to was disrupting the market because new and newer apps were coming in the market, all of which required coding. And competitive differentiation of the company was there because there was no company which was offering only coding online. All the other companies were offering a mix of entrance examinations, IIT JEE, NEET, and law entrance and so on. So this company said we are just about coding and little bit of other things like the music, teaching music and all, which they later on they stopped teaching music and all. They just focused on coding. So the first thing was companies' vision and results right now. The second thing was the market opportunity, which was huge. And the third one was they very clearly said, we need this money and this is how we will use this money. once we use this money, this is the result which will come, and this is the valuation we will achieve. So they were very clear about unit economics. Unit economics means that they had made a plan of running the company in profits and not in a loss. Second, they had a clear 3-year growth strategy and how they will use the funds. And to execute this plan of using these funds to achieve this goal, they had a very well experienced team. So, so these are the three blocks which have been the basis of investing since decades, since 1940s and 50s, and this will remain the blocks of investing in the future. But just let us have a look little bit more on all these three things. Okay, so this is the business growth and results. As I said, that the company was already growing at 65%. The company's vision now, kids, students, they are using mobile phones 10 hours per day, 8 to 10 hours per day. So they are consumers. And the company said, we will enable a generation to create versus consume. We will make creators and not consumers. These will be the people whose material other people will consume. So they will become, in a sense, business owners in the future, because they will learn coding now. They will learn how to use their creativity to create something of value for which other people will pay. And hence, they are making a generation of creators. This was the grand vision which they presented. Now, Uh, business strategy was, the curriculum would be a wow kid delight curriculum. It will just wow the kid that, I have never seen an easier curriculum, a more well written curriculum, a very clear curriculum. The teachers will be the top 1% teachers who parents give ratings and parents put them in the top 1%, and there will be tangible outcomes which will be measured. So the business strategy was very clear, focused around these three things. Now, customer satisfaction was measured using ratios. For example, the total number of satisfied customers to total number of responses. So each customer was asked to give a feedback. The engagement rate, as in the total engagements by the customers divided by the total impressions, the refund rates, and the company net NPS, net promoter scores, like how many people want to promote this company vis-a-vis how many people are detractors of this company who don't like the business. Then the customer renewal rates, and then the customer testimonials. Now, the second block, how big is the market? We measure market by TAM, SAM, and SOM, which is the total addressable market, the serviceable obtainable market, and the serviceable available market. Now, always remember, your serviceable obtainable market, SOM, is very critical. If you are presenting a SOM of, say, $100 million, so what you are trying to say is that if we assume that this company is the biggest company in the sector and it will take 50% of the market, then because the SOM is $100 million, 50% of that is $50 million. So revenue of the company cannot exceed $50 million. So the VC will think that I want to create $1 billion company, but they are presenting me a company with a market which is obtainable only till $50 million. So I will not invest. Most of the VCs want to invest when the serviceable obtainable market is in billions of dollars. Now, what happens many times is that you invest and then you realize that the company in which you invested was early in the game. The market is still not developed. So, before Jio came in with cheap internet rates, a lot of companies had tried e-commerce, and after that they failed because the internet penetration was not there. The cheap internet was not there. So the same type of businesses was tried after Geo and they succeeded. So the timing, you have to convince the investor of the timing. And at that time, when White Hat Junior came in, they were launching coding online, and they were launching it with the presence of cheap internet. And because of COVID, the students were moving online. So the category headwinds were there, tailwinds were there, and there was barely any headwinds. Tech disruption, the company said we will create the best platform, the best app, the best website. Competitive differentiation, they compared themselves with 3 4 other companies, and nobody was focusing solely on coding online for school students. Nobody was focusing solely on this sector. Unit economics, they said we will be profitable from day one. We will not sell our course at a loss. We will not go into the practice of getting customers by selling your services cheap. And that's why they were very sound on unit economics. And they said that because our business is very sound on unit economics, we will create a very capital efficient model in edtech. Now the growth plan, uh, they said that we will in the 5 years, using your money, investors' money, we will achieve this. And they were very clear in which geographies, cities, and what is the amount they want to spend on the go-to market to achieve this. The funding asked how much money they wanted to raise. It was $500,000 for 10% equity, valuing the company at $5 million, and 13% to be used for capital expenditure, 33% for marketing and sales, 43% for team personnel, 11% for product development. So it was very well planned. Now the team which they put on the job, so all the team had years and years of experience. They had gathered a very neat team, so that backed their vision. And so this is the key takeaway from what they created, the document they created. That you create a compelling story in front of the investor, and in one slide you give only one idea per slide. Don't confuse the investor, and always practice how will you present this case. If you are just sitting with the investor alone, how will you be presenting your case? So you should practice that. This is the second presentation. If you want, I can cover some other specific presentations, but if you want, I can take some question and answers also.
Yes, sir. Let's take some question, then we can move on to the other presentation.
Sure, sure, sure.
Okay. So, does anyone in the audience have a question? Let me ask the questions that were asked before, sir. Okay. So, as a college student interested in finance, what specific skills or experiences do you recommend developing to thrive in this industry?
In which industry? In startup industry or venture capital industry?
Venture capital, sir.
See, if you want to make a mark in venture capital, always remember that startup and venture capital both are like intermixed. What I'm trying to say is that uh, you should be you should have an eye about opportunities to for business. If you have an eye about opportunities for business, then you will be able to find the right problem statement and the right solution statement. Now, for example, today you will say that the government is spending so much on giving gas connections to people. Ujjwala beneficiaries are more than 10 crore. More than 10 crore subsidized gas connections have been provided, and people are not burning wood for cooking, but they are giving gas connections. Now, you might say that for solar, government in this budget has promoted a rooftop solar scheme so that they don't spend on electricity. Similarly, for gas, why can't the government promote the biogas scheme? Because our country is full of cows and buffaloes, and we have a lot of cow dung. So the biogas plants can be created throughout the country. So you might find that as a statement that I will promote cheap biogas plants throughout India, which will be a impact business, environmentally positive business, which will attract a lot of money from environmental funds. For example, the lakes in the cities are becoming polluted, and many lakes are becoming dry. So there are people who are reviving the lakes and getting good money as investment to revive those lakes. So, and it can be anything. See, when we were young, we were not able to find the black and yellow taxis. And now somebody, with the click of an app, you can get Uber, you can get Ola. And then because the cabs of Ola and Uber are owned by the drivers, so they, don't follow the rules. So they will play loud music, they will speak on mobile, they will not switch on the AC, they will not have clean car. So to solve this problem, this again became a problem statement. So Blue Smart came in. Blue Smart said we will own the cars. We will only have electric cars. So we will offer you 30% cheaper service. And because we will own the cars, we will train the drivers. So now the drivers come by Blue Smart. They are well mannered. They put less volume music. They open the door for you. They arrive early. They don't talk on mobile, and you can report them on the click of a button. So, again, a new problem statement was created and a new solution was found. So, Zomato came in, Swiggy came in, they started offering you food at home. And then because they said that, when we give our bikes to drivers, they don't maintain the bikes because they are owned by the companies. They don't maintain the bags, the Zomato bags. So what they did was they said that the any person who wants to join us as a driver should have his own bike, should purchase the bag from us. So that then we will take you as a driver. So because the ownership of bike and bag became of the driver, they started maintaining it. So this was one problem and solution. Then a new problem came. The delivery boys were spending too much on fuel. So a new company came in, for example, e-bike go. They started offering you electric bikes on rent to drivers. So they found a new problem. They found a new solution. Renting out electric bikes to drivers of Zomato and Swiggy. Right? So in every area you look, you should have an eye because you are engineers. So you should think in terms of this box can be fitted here. If it cannot be fitted here, maybe a circle can be can be made to fit here. Try to find solutions to problems which others are not able to find. And if you concentrate on issues which are fundamental to human beings, which are creating the basic problems of human beings, education, health, environment, uh, you know, uh, preventing crime, then big money will chase you. If you find the right solution, the solution has to be scalable. It should not just attract money, but after it attracts money, it should be able to replicate fast and create a viable business, not a loss making business, a profit making business, which is good on unit economics and which if you are able to build something like a technology which cannot be replicated by someone else, you have the intellectual property of that technology, then the investor will be more comfortable that I'm putting in money, and no person with deep pockets can copy this easily. So that will attract the investor. They are called moats in business. Moats are those things which prevent competitors from getting into your line and copying your business. So this is the way you do it. Practically speaking, you start uh, finding some some areas which interest you. Then you start writing blogs on medium.com. Maybe open a YouTube channel, put some small reels and shorts on Instagram and YouTube, put blogs on Medium, invite others to give their comments, see how practical you are thinking. Because one major problem with engineers is they want to create things and then they go out to find people who can buy that. But the basic difference is you have to create things which people want to buy. So you have to, your way of thinking has to be what people will buy, what people want. I will create that. This is what Steve Jobs also said in many of his famous conferences.
Okay, thank you, sir. Following this, sir, do you have any recommendations for books or online courses that we as students should do?
Online courses are many nowadays. I mean, if you look at, edX is there, Coursera is there. There are, hundreds of courses which are available. And, nowadays the content is democratized after Google came in. But if you want to read books, then there is a Naval Ravikant is the founder of Angel List, and there is a book about his thoughts. It's called the Almanac of Naval Ravikant. So that is one. Then there is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which is a very good book. If you want to do something on the stock market side, then The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham is one. Um, and uh, and There is a book called Tiny Habits. Have you heard of Tiny Habits book? How tiny habits make a difference. I'm forgetting the name of the
Atomic
right.
Habits, sir.
Atomic Habits. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So Atomic Habits is one, and The Magic of Thinking Big is there by David Schwartz. And I was really inspired when I read Richard Branson's Losing My Virginity, how he created this empire. And all these books, Coffee Can Investing is one if you want to go into the stock market side. And even Warren Buffett has said that the little book of behavioral investing by James Monther is one which really inspired him a lot. Otherwise, it's not necessary to read books only which are about the trade. There are sometimes books which are not about finance, and but still they give you a lot of eyesight into life, like Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramhansa Yogananda is one. And if you have got some shocks in life and you feel low about some things, then a book which will lift you up is Dying to Be Me. Dying to Be Me by Anita Moorjani. You will really like that a lot.
Okay. Yes. Let's move on to the next presentation, sir. Then we'll take the rest of the questions.
Okay, just hold on.
Yes.
The other presentation is quite long, so it's already 7:35. So let me do one thing. Let me give you a brief about how the startup process works, and then maybe give you some examples and how you can then ask me some questions.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
So basically, when we start, I was a shark at Shark Tank IIT Delhi, and one student was there who was talking to me in the boardroom, and he said that, "Sir, I have an idea." So ideas per se don't have any value. So the idea should be practical. It should be something for which people are willing to pay for. So that idea, you have to create it into a business plan. And how do you create it into a business plan? The first is proof of concept, that your concept is can be made into a business plan. After the proof of concept comes the minimum viable product. When you create some shape of the product you want, like an app, something which you can see, maybe a hardware, maybe a CAD drawing, something which looks like a product. And then comes the product market fit. Product market fit is basically when you have already started selling the product and you have some customers, and apart from that you also have some revenues. So you have already shown that this product is has a market. So this is the whole process, and there are three things which are used to achieve your startup. First is product management. So product management happens with the principles of lean startup methodology. That's also a book you should read. Lean Startup Methodology is the most famous book in the startup world. And once you go ahead with the principles of lean startup methodology, you build, you test, you iterate. So there's a whole process you do. You keep on doing till you perfect the product. And after that, it's called product management. After that comes people management, when you have to create a team, and how you can find a co-founder, how you can practically find a co-founder from WhatsApp, LinkedIn, from social media, anywhere. But the co-founder should be complementing your skills, and he should be complementing your vision also. So that's the people management part of it. And the last is project management, when you have to put a team to achieve your goal. So there comes the principles of project management, in which you have to break down your overall task into small subtasks, and you have to assign people to it. You can maybe use a Gantt chart. Those in engineering, you guys would have used a Gantt chart, and then you communicate to the whole team what is their part they have to play, and then within a timeline you achieve the project. So these are the three things which people management, product management, and project management. And when it comes to startups, then first is the idea, second is the proof of concept, then comes the minimum viable product, and lastly comes the product market fit. And it all happens with lean startup methodology. That's the basic principle under which Y Combinator and others, they also subscribe a lot to it.
Okay, sir. S- So, should we move on to the questions, sir?
I'm always open to question.
Okay. So, okay. A student asked, in the realm of venture capital, what advice would you give to startups looking to attract and secure funding in such a competitive landscape?
Uh, well, you know, uh, the thing is that your work should speak. If you're what you are doing, you really believe in it, and then you, even if 10 investors say no to you, the 11th investor will invest. So you have to be on the front foot. Don't uh, uh, don't believe that getting a funding is the end to your business. That is the start of your business. that money will not go into your pocket. You will only get a salary. That money will go into a lot of things, and you will need more money. So, raising funding is not your goal. Your goal is to create a viable business, a self-sustainable business, a team which stays for long, which gets proper recognition. And so all this, money raising is one part of the activity. There are many founders who spend more than 50% of their time in raising money. How will they create the business? There are there are companies like share chat, and who have millions of people doing chatting on their platform, but if you ask them the revenue, it will be like some $1 million. So till how long can they raise money and keep on burning the money to run the company? End of the day, it should be positive on unit economics. If you are creating something for 9-10 rupees, it should be selling for 12-13 rupees. So that is what the sense is, that don't treat the fundraising as a end goal, and always keep on talking to the founders, those who have received funding. You talk to them, exchange visiting cards, meet them at events, and catch them on LinkedIn. And whenever you are in their city, just take 10 minutes from them, just ask them their thoughts, and then request them, sir, can you introduce us, provide a warm introduction to the investor. If the investee company founder gives you a reference to an investor, then the investor will really value your uh, your business. He will, because you have reached him through the right process. Because many people, what they do is, sir, on email, sir, this is my pitch deck, I need funding. So there are very rare investors who will just see a pitch deck and put crores in it. It doesn't happen that way. So what happens is that personal connect matters a lot, because they want to invest in the right people who are trustworthy, reliable, who don't eat the money, who will do as promised. And because they are part of a alumni network or some other network, so they have a reputation also. And the investor will put money in your company for 3, 5, 6, 8, 10, 8, 10 years. So the investor is very cautious. So they will like to watch you for some time. So if you are going through the right process, you can keep on sending them updates. This happened. We have now created this. This is the photograph and video of what we created. This is the compliments and reviews we got. So it's a relationship. And then at some point, the investor says, okay, I mean, some two people are investing, I'll also put in some money. So this is the way it happens. It is a relationship. It is a long-term relationship, and you have to see it that way.
Okay. Sir, in your previous talk, sir, you have touched upon management skills. So, what, in your opinion, are essential management skills for success in today's dynamic business environment?
See, there are soft skills and there are hard skills. Now, hard skills are like the engineering which you guys are doing. So if I today take away all your money, all your wealth, and drop you in the middle of a foreign country, and you don't have money, you don't have anything, what is that which you can provide to the people around so that they pay you? That is the hard skill. That is, I can create the design of a building as a civil engineer. I can code and create an app. I can write AI. I can create an AI chatbot. Right? Those are your hard skills, which will get you your money. But what happens is that there are soft skills as well. Now you have to be A lot of people in IT companies, if you see your seniors, your alumni, either they are doing coding even after 20 years, or they are managing a team. So those are the soft skills, managing the team. For that, you don't need an MBA. You need a lot of common sense, and you need a way to build a culture in which people want to perform. They want to stick around with the company. They don't do quiet quitting, right? So each action of yours has to result in some gain in the culture in the company or some motivation. You are the person who has to never speak negative. You have to be always positive. You have to be the person who tells the others that, we will do it, and and always provide them confidence and positivity. But also remember, uh, carrot and stick both are required when you do management, especially in India also. So you don't have to provide the carrots. You have to do some self-regulatory sticks also. For example, nowadays people are always on mobile, and you are sitting in a meeting, and mobile phone rings of someone. Everybody gets disturbed. The notification disturbs everybody. The whole concentration goes. So you can have a rule in your meetings that if a mobile phone of a person rings in the meeting, then that person has to treat the whole team with pizza after the meeting. That's called a soft stick. So you have to do that, and you have to also remember that in a startup, designations don't matter that much. People who are performing well, uh, you know after 1 year, 2 year, everybody knows who's performing well, and those people can take the leadership. So you don't have to really go in after designations. It's more it's more like, okay, technically this guy is the CEO, but practically there is no CEO. All these five people are CEOs, and we will decide the final CEO after 2 years. That also works. And one part you should not forget, you will not be able to offer them big salary, right? Because you are a startup. So you have to compensate by offering them ESOPs, employee stock option plans. And those ESOPs get converted to shares at the end of 1 year, 2 year, or 3 years. So after they perform for 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, then they get the right on the shares. Then they have to also get an exit on the shares, for which management is responsible. Management has to ensure that they get the exits and they get the money. And exits will only be possible if the company is growing and getting funding. So naturally, if they contribute, then their ESOPs get converted to shares, and then the shares they were able to sell. So this is what you have to do. Uh, and when it comes to hard skills, then you should always keep on upskilling and cross skilling yourself. So apart from some coding, you should also know other stuff, the latest stuff which is out there in the market. There are always so many courses available. You should keep on upskilling and cross skilling yourself. And always remember, marketing skill is inborn in everybody. Everybody has the skill in them. But always remember, when you are in the customer facing role, client facing role, then each word you speak, and more important than that, what to not speak, that is a tact which you learn only when you start dealing with the customers. And that skill is most important. Each person in your corporate journey is not related to you. There is no family there. They are all stakeholders. Your colleague is a stakeholder, your boss is a stakeholder, the other department is a stakeholder, the shareholders of the company are stakeholders, the customers of the company are stakeholders, the HR department is a stakeholder, everybody is a stakeholder. So you should have the sense of how to deal with stakeholders. And always remember, you are working in a culture. So your actions, either they are contributing to the culture or they are spoiling the culture. So you should always align yourself with with the company's vision and mission. Otherwise, you will be spoiling the culture. So if suppose you badmouth your company outside the office, you are spoiling the culture. You are not a team person. If you are not a team person, then if you expect that tomorrow the company will make you a CXO, then that is not possible. So all these little things, how to conduct a meeting, the meeting should be always with as less number as possible. Like Jeff Bezos of Amazon says that a meeting should be with so many people that 2 pizzas are enough for them, not more than that. And the founder of the company should not speak in the meeting. The agenda of the company, the memo should be shared with the meeting members before the meeting. And for the first 10 minutes, they should read the memo and not talk about usual general stuff first time. And the founder should speak in the end. When he has listened to everybody, then he should speak. Because if the founder gives his opinion at the start of the meeting, then nobody will give their opinion in the meeting. So these things are there. And, in consumer companies, Steve Jobs always says customer first. Jeff Bezos always says customer first. So, I will advise you, if you are having a meeting in your company of the team, keep one seat vacant and write there customer. If customer was sitting here, what will he be speaking as we are discussing things? So the voice of the customer is most important in any decision, in any management know-how. These are the basic things. Otherwise, if you do MBA, you will get to see many techniques and technologies and graphs and charts and all. And the good thing is education is democratized. So you can see all those things in various courses on edX, on Coursera, on Udemy, and wherever. They are easily available.
Okay, sir. Sir, as we move towards the end of the session, sir, I have one question that is not so much related to the topic. Like, sir, you talked about Whitehead Junior, and it was eventually bought by Think and Learn. Sir, but now we are seeing that what is happening to Byju's. So, sir, what do you think is the reason for their decline? Like, once they
See,
were valued at $25 billion, and now, so, sir, can you please explain?
Byju's was always a bad case of public relations. They take extremely unpopular decisions, and they don't, they believe that just by spending money on media, they will be able to manage the news coming out on the media. But that doesn't happen. So what they did was that when after COVID, the whole education thing was moving online, they raised a huge amount of money and they recruited 16,000 college graduates and gave them very high targets of selling the Byju's courses and the tab. And uh, a lot of them they did mis-selling also. So they told the wrong things and sold the tablets and just to generate revenue. Then after that, when their revenue reached, I think 2,200 crores, something like that, they wanted to show double revenue by saying that this further revenue will come from the monthly rent which we are getting. So they were capitalizing, not capitalizing, they were taking future revenue earlier. So they wanted to show more revenue to get more valuation. And then they got more valuation, $22 billion. So see, they were not meeting the compliances. They were not doing the right thing with the parents and the students, and malpractices and mis-selling, and trying to cover it up by things like taking that footballer on for their campaign, taking Shah Rukh Khan, taking that footballer for their campaign at very costly rates, and their investor management is very bad. I mean, all the investors, they say that Byju's did this to us and Byju's did that to us. I mean, that's very bad. And then they thought that to sustain our valuation, we should have more revenue. So let us start buying companies which have revenue. And in the process, they bought White Hat for $300 million, and now White Hat has closed down. So, they gave absurd valuations to companies and bought those companies, and many of them have closed down. The only good acquisition they have done is Akash. That also because they need money urgently. So they have sold, I think, 40-50% to Manipal Group, TA Pai, Mr. Pai. So all those things, it was a uh, case of uh, over enthusiasm for the coaching market in India, putting huge money, raising huge money at unimaginable valuations, and not performing up to the mark.
So, sir, the questions have ended. So, can we end the session?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. You
Okay.
can share the
Okay.
video with me after the talk.
Yes, sir. Okay. So, thank you everyone for attending today's session. We truly appreciate your curiosity and enthusiasm. A special thank you to our distinguished speaker, Mr. Kansal, for sharing valuable insights and expertise. Hoping to see you on campus for an offline session really soon. As we wrap up today's session, I encourage you to stay connected and continue the conversation. Feel free to reach out to any additional inquiries or discussions. On behalf of EII, thank you for being a part of this enlightening experience. We look forward to welcoming you to future events. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.